Good afternoon, and welcome to a special edition of the Worth Report for February 26th, Keeping America Vigilant 2021. Passed in the House, again. House Democrats, along with 3 phony Republicans, passed the Equality Act, which has absolutely nothing to do with equality, in a 224 to 206 vote. The bill previously passed the House in 2019 after multiple introductions. The Equality Act, despite what the mainstream media and left-leaning politicians will tell you, is nothing more than an evil offense on our Constitution and, more importantly, God. The act reportedly separates biological sex from what some call gender identity and bans discrimination in housing, employment, and other services based on both sexual orientation and gender identity. What many don't realize is that in June of 2020, the Supreme Court ruled that protections guaranteed on the basis of sex by the 1964 Civil Rights Act, which is what the Equality Act aims to amend, also extends to discrimination against lesbian, gay, and transgender Americans. For example, if a man lost his job because his partner is also a man, he is facing discrimination on the basis of sex, since if he was a woman, he would not have been fired for having a male partner. The case was Bostock v. Clayton County. So what exactly are they really trying to do here? The House Freedom Caucus says the bill is an attack on women's sports and rights, and especially religious freedom. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who has been a fierce fighter of the American people to date, says a simple read of the bill's text will expose the lies of the Democrats who argue the bill will not destroy religious freedoms or women's rights. What this bill also does is expand the definition and discrimination protections for these groups related to public accommodations, which embodies places like retail stores. Under the new proposal, it would include online retailers and transportation providers, for example. This would also affect businesses that have been at the center of discrimination cases, like bakeries and flower shops that refuse to provide services for events that violate their religious beliefs. The Equality Act would force them to do so. The text of the bill also states that it trumps the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, which favors arguments that a specific law infringes upon religious freedom, and creates higher standards for the government to defend such laws that are brought into question for that reason. Basically, the Equality Act absolutely destroys any protections for religious organizations pertaining to these issues and paves the way to rule against anyone who brings the law into question on the basis of religious freedom. While it's unlikely to pass the Senate, but hey, you never know, it's 2021, the Equality Act is the most vicious and demonic piece of legislation that has been introduced in a very long time. Allowing biological men to use female restrooms is wrong, and allowing biological men to compete in women's sports is also wrong. What is it the establishment has been pushing lately? Trust the science? Yet these are the same people mutilating the genitals of Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head and removing their biological sex to make them gender neutral. And this morning, it's also being reported that a bill in California would fine department stores for separating toys by gender. Give me a freaking break. This is absolutely sick, folks. Needless to say, our illegitimate president supports the Equality Act and is urging Congress to pass it as quickly as possible. Evil is certainly upon us, America. We're living in some pretty dark times in which it seems the devil himself has been released into the world like never before. But we know God wins, and we also know how this thing ends, thanks to the good book God has given us to guide us through this crazy thing called life. In any case, the House Freedom Caucus, as well as Texas Representative Chip Roy, plan to challenge the constitutionality of the wicked bill in the courts. The Equality Act is now headed to the Senate, where it needs 60 votes to pass, which is seen by many to be a challenge. Thanks for watching, America, and if you haven't done so already, please go to theworthreport.com to sign up for our new platform subscription now, before we leave YouTube and all other platforms for good in the next couple of days. You can choose from our regular monthly subscription for $1.99 a month, our discounted subscription for the military, senior citizens, and those experiencing financial hardship for $1.36 a month, or our new annual subscription by viewer request for only $15 a year. You do not need a PayPal account to subscribe. Simply click the PayPal button on the subscription page and then click either Guest Checkout or Pay with Credit or Debit Card, whichever pops up on your screen. We appreciate your support and we love you all. This has been a special edition of the Worth Report for February 26th, keeping you vigilant, America 2021. God bless you all. God bless President Trump and God bless America.